Welcome to Gingerspyce Tiefling Druid episode 19. In this episode, I'm going to be doing the weapon shipment in Amrath, and I am level 19. I'm choosing this quest because this is where the Mysterious Bauble comes from. And this is the item that I mentioned in the last episode that is like an extra major mana pot per rest. It's one clicky of major mnemonic aid, a really significant item for a caster, a really nice boost of spell points that you can use once per rest, and let's see if we can solo it on R2. Alright. On the gear side, there's nothing new to mention from last episode, so I'm not going to go over all of the gear again. It's exactly the same. I actually haven't even run any content since then. I finished up IQ, I Dream of Jeets, I soloed it on R3, and then I soloed Mindsunder on R3. To clean up some favor and get a little bit of Reaper XP. On the enhancement side, new from last episode, I just got a point of charisma that's more or less a placeholder, and then I've got my final tier of Waxed and Wane, so it's 2% additional critical chance of spells associated with my current season. What I'm probably going to end up doing, now that I have a better idea of how many, extra or disposable action points that I have, probably going to end up dumping, let's see, that's 2 there, another 1 there, 3 more there. I'll get rid of this when I get to epic, so that's a total of 6. There's a 7th from Inquisitive, and then I'm getting 4 next level, that's 11. I would need to dump 1 more, and then that would give me enough to spend 12 points in the Falconry tree once I unlock that, and that will give me some big stacking hit points, a point of con, I think some PRR, and some other goodies too. Unfortunately, I won't have that unlocked anytime soon, but I intend to get it unlocked before the end of the series. Nothing new to mention on the side of feats. I did pick up Mantle Icy Soul. I don't even have it loaded up. It just, you don't have, you literally only have a total of 6 spells, well, 5. I mean, the Summon Nature's Ally is automatic. You have 5 spells to choose from, and you have 5 spell slots, so you end up getting them all. But now that Mantle and Anger of the Noonday Sun are auto-granted when you switch forms, you don't even need to memorize them. So like I said, once you have access to those, it's not a priority to get as long as you have the enhancement from the Season's Herald tree, which is Elemental Mastery, all the way up to Tier 3, then those are automatically applied at that point. So low priority to pick up those, but I also picked up Sunbeam with my extra level 7 spell, so if I'm fighting a mob that's particularly vulnerable to light damage, that's a nice single target to throw on them. Nothing new to mention on the Reaper trees. 30,000 for my 84th point. Already mentioned a quest I ran since the last level. Other quests that I would run at 19, but you see I'm already, only 3/4 of a ring from cap. With the addition of Sharn at level 15 and 16, I'm finding myself just way ahead of the XP game compared to what I normally would be. So, may need to start making some adjustments to my leveling routine. I haven't even done any level 19s yet. Pretty much this next quest is going to do it, but the quests that I would normally do are like Sins of Attrition because it's short, fairly easy, Murder by Night because it's short, Wrath of the Flame because it's short. I might do the first couple out in like Stormhorns, like Tracker's Trap and Lines of Supply if I needed some extra XP, and I might even do like the rest of the Amrath flagging quests if I needed to get the favor to get Yugo pots. So that's what I would do at level 19, but we'll see how much I actually get done of that. Okay, here we are. We're going to solo this on R2. I don't like bumping this up, mostly because Leela here is an NPC that, if she dies, then you fail the quest. Now, you only have to escort her for the first part of the quest. They changed this many years ago, so you don't have to protect her during the main part of the quest anymore, but You know, if a nasty champion gets on her, she can die pretty quickly, so... And the end fight is pretty long. A lot of mobs, so... Not trying to make a big fuss out of this. I'm going to go ahead and use my wand, because it's free, to give her all the elemental resistances. The casters are, I believe, are throwing electric and cold. There's fire damage in here too, I believe. The Orthons do sonic damage, and I just gave her acid because, well, I don't think that anybody does acid damage in here, but, you know, maybe she'll run into a champion or something. You can give her other buffs like Blur, or I'll give her Spring's Resurgence. Oh, I guess she doesn't need a GH because that's an environmental effect here in Amrath, but we'll give her spell resistance. Okay. So you don't want to get too far ahead of her. I do know that this is where the first group of mobs spawn, so... But if you get too far ahead of her, she might, you know, be stuck behind fighting some mobs and you don't realize it, and she can die really quickly in Reaper mode. I want to switch back to fire and then water so I can get my mantle applied. I'm switching forms. And Tim the mobs off of her. Keep an eye on her health. She took a couple hits there, so we'll just throw her heal scroll. Like I said, don't get too far ahead of her. I think that's next group of mobs, but... If you're struggling, you know, getting your bauble, one thing you can do, you know, just get it all the way to the end and, you know, then call your friends and guildies and ask them to loot for you. Tell them you're looking for a bauble, and people will help you out. You can even post an LFM if you don't have a lot of friends and just tell people, like, hey, I'm at the end looking for the bauble, please pass. Yeah, most people will do that. You know, well, I should say you'll find some nice people who will help you out. You know, veterans of this game know the farm that is trying to get your bauble, so you know you're going to find some sympathetic players out there that are just kind of bored and don't mind running out to try to loot a bauble for you. Check Leela's health. She took another hit, it looks like, so we'll heal her up. And she's running ahead. Filthy Zerger. Let's give that guy the finger. To hit him with the Creeping Cold SLA first, which applies a -4 fortitude save penalty to him because of the mantle effect. Mantle Icy Soul debuff. I'll take that Lost Soul. Thank you. Alright, so here we are to the main part of the quest. And just in case you didn't know, you can come back for this shrine even when you're soloing, and I'm going to show you how if you don't know how. because it's kind of tricky. The thing is, there has to be somebody always alive in this part of the quest, and that's something that was changed many years ago. So if you've been out of the game for a long, long time, this quest may be different from the last time you ran it. And so somebody has to stay alive in here. So that means if you're soloing and you just run into the cave to use that shrine, you're going to instantly fail because there's nobody out here left alive. But what you can do is just pop a hireling out. In this case, I'm going to be using the level 17 Owlbear. But you could use a regular hireling, but you don't want to use your wolf. The wolf counts for purposes of somebody alive out here, but the thing is, when you shrine, as soon as you finish shrining, your wolf gets called to you. And so that would instantly cause you to fail the quest, because your wolf would no longer be out here the moment you finished shrining. I've made that mistake, and I don't want you to make that mistake too. We'll give that spellcaster the finger. We'll untim him so he's not pew-pewing Layla. Layla. Oh, why not finger that bowman too? Okay, now that this first group of mobs is killed, Layla's gonna start doing her little ritual. And years ago you had to protect her while she was doing that, but not anymore. Now we just have to fight like approximately 150,000 mobs to finish the quest. So here I'm just going to shield block, and I want to oh, I already have full mana. So but look at those. Even though I'm not getting any more mana, you can see the procs off of the torque. See, there's 23. They're barely doing any damage to me. There's another 23, 18, 25. This is all off the torque. And to make sure that none of those are off the concordant opposition, I'm going to take the concordant opposition right off. Okay? I can stand here all day long, and I can even heal myself with the mana that they're giving me. So there's 25 mana. Over half the time they're missing me. There's 17, 19, 24, 21. I actually did a video several years ago. I was soloing Breaking the Ranks in, I think it was Epic Elite, and that's in the Stormhorns. And I decided I would go ahead and tally up all the spell points that I got from the torque just over the course of the quest. Not standing there torquing up for a long time, but just because I didn't really have an idea. Was I getting a few hundred? Was it 500 or 600? I really didn't know, and I was shocked that it ended up being like 2,500 spell points that the torque procced over the course of just doing Epic Elite Breaking the Ranks. So it's a really significant amount of spell points. And just for demonstrative purposes, we're going to take off the torque, okay? And I want to make these are, the numbers haven't caught up yet. So I want to make sure that all the torque is gone. In fact, just to make 100% sure, I'm going to go up here and wait for all those numbers to finish scrolling. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the concordant opposition on, and then you're going to be able to see how much that procs. And I'm just going to stand out here and shield block like I was doing all day long, right? So the concordant opposition can proc both spell points and hit points. So there's a 30 proc of spell points. Any spell point, there's another 24. Any spell points you see proccing now are just from the concordant opposition. And hit points as well. There's another 28. It's proccing more than I thought it was going to. But I did get a few procs. There's another 24. I guess I'm not seeing any hit points proc because I guess it's not going to show that if oh, I'm not at full hit points. I wonder why I'm seeing any hit points proc. So we are getting some spell points off of it, but the torque definitely procs more often. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my time and I'm going to use the mana. See, here's the thing. You remember last episode I talked about how, you know, if you don't have the greatest saves and they're saving against your, well, he didn't save against my Call Lightning, but these archers sometimes do. But if you're having a problem with them saving, you know, you can just use your spells that don't have a save, like Greater Creeping Cold and Creeping Cold, for example. So I'm just going to use the mana they're giving me, and I'm going to be patient. I'm just going to kill them with the mana they're giving me. And I'm just going to cast Greater Creeping Colds on every damn one of them. Now that we have more guys spawning, I'm going to leave the rest of those archers alive because they can torque me up while I'm fighting this other crap. And when Reapers are around and I need, you know, I can't just sit there and wait for my SLAs to come off a timer, right? I need Reapers dead today, right now. So I will start pulling from my regular spells. So Call Lightning and Word of Balance, the regular versions, I'll throw those too. Those are good to use against Reapers. Let's go ahead and take out the champion. Oh, he didn't want to get fingered. And we'll take out that champion too. We'll give him the Greater Creeping Cold, Creeper Cold routine. Finger him. Guess we're gonna have to take out a few more of these mobs before stuff starts spawning. Look, I still have full mana pretty much. That lost soul, just leave it there for a minute for when I do need it. Alright, now we got some more spawns. And it's more archers that want to give us more spell points. It's nice of them. We're just gonna Creeping Cold them. Maybe we can even alternate with our Finger of Death, huh? Greater Creeping Cold it is. Not even hitting them with the debuff. What is the Finger of Death? DC these days, 48. That's not bad for upper heroics. You know, it's not stellar, but it's not bad. Let's go ahead and get one of these lost souls now. What's the Earthquake DC at? 52. And I get one more out of it with the Yugo pot, and I get another one if I had like a remnant pot. We'll hit him that Flameborn with both the regular and the SLA of Creeping Cold and the Greater Creeping Cold. We'll need that champion pew-pewing us. Creeping Cold debuff and then Finger. I want to make sure our Finger lands on that champion. I'm going to go ahead and pick up this lost soul because it's probably going to disappear anyways in a minute. There's a lost soul. And then we got other mobs, so I'm going to leave the rest of the archers. And, oh, let's do the Obscuring Darkness first, followed by the Earthquake. Hellhounds probably love Ice Storm, wouldn't you say? Have the SLA of our Storm of Vengeance. Oh, I forgot to pick that up. Oh, no, I didn't. I picked it up. I may have mentioned it, forgot to mention that last episode. that you can get the SLA of Storm of Vengeance here at level 18. So as I know I mentioned before that you know, the regular version has a 1-minute cooldown, the SLA has a 2-minute cooldown. You know, having both helps to mitigate that long cooldown. We can even throw a Sleet Storm up. My buffs are wearing out, so might as well rebuff. We got plenty of mana. We'll do another Ice Storm, Storm of Vengeance. Hey, have an Earthquake too. Where are we at on the buffs? I'm going to switch to Fire form and then back to Water real quick to reapply the Mantle. Just for reference, I'm going to show you my numbers. 96 armor class, 171 PRR, 107 MRR. What are some other numbers? How about 6% dodge? And, you know, other layers of defense would be, of course, fortification, resistance, you know, displacement, lesser displacement from the gloves, stuff like that. So it's not just the armor class and PRR, you know, just so many layers of defense. And as I mentioned before, in Reaper mode, having multiple layers of defense is very important. You know, this isn't like, you know, DDO 2014 where all you needed to have is your 5, you know, heroic green steel displacement clickies, and then, you know, that's all you needed, right? If you want to play Reaper, you got to have multiple layers of defense. Like I said, just keeping those archers around. They can pew pew at me. They're not doing much damage. So every time they hit me, there's a chance to proc mana. Yep, come on down here. Fall in my Earthquake. Slip around in my Sleet Storm. How about a Storm of Vengeance? Have some Obscuring Darkness. Take some Sunburst and get blinded too. They're not doing anything. Except for dying. That champion wants a Call Lightning to be finished off. We'll take that Lost Soul. And look, we're pretty much at full mana. Famine Reaper, that means put on the Spell Absorption, and the SLAs finished him right off while he was in the AoEs. And I'm just standing here relaxing. We might not even need that shrine. Okay, we got some spellcasters. That's no fun. I'm going to go ahead and put on the red fire shield because they're throwing all kinds of cold spells at me. We'll finger that Soul of Ice. We'll do Creeping Cold, Greater Creeping Cold on the Fey Touched. Hit him with some SLAs as well. Spellcasters don't want to kite together very well, you know. But there's a group, so we'll go ahead and throw down the Gingerspyce special. Let's do a Call Lightning Storm just for fun. So that kind of is almost like a buff that lasts a little bit over a minute, and it's going to call down lightning strikes, you know, every, oh, I don't know, 6 seconds or something? Random strike, or any, well, it doesn't say how often. So let's just do nothing. I'm a big fan of doing nothing. Doing nothing is one of my favorite things to do. I don't know if I've ever told you that about me. Uh-oh. Fear Reaper. Where's he at? Sneaky Reaper. So let me show you something. I'm stuck here, right? One of the little nice little things you can use Snow Slide for is busting out, because it moves through mobs. So you can switch to Winterwolf form real quick and bust through mobs. Now we can come up here and get this sneaky Fear Reaper. What a jerk. And I'm going to continue to do nothing. I'll heal myself. And let's watch some of those lightning strikes happen. We'll recast it. I'm going to get rid of that champion. I'm gonna get these lost souls. Let's watch some lightning strikes happen. I think it took 279 there. 596. I didn't even see that one. 324. That cost 74 spell points. 589. So I don't know. I don't think it's too terribly exciting, but you know, if you're mana dumping, you can certainly include that in your routine. I never could get into that spell. I'm not trying to throw it under the bus. You know, play with these spells. You don't have to use all the spells that I use or skip the spells that I don't use. You know, there are lots of spells you can play with. There are lots of people who like Call Lightning Storm. There are lots of people who like to use Fire Seeds more than I do. You know, I don't, you know, use the one that throws the acorns, you know, as a ranged attack. Let's see. Let's pull that down. A lot of mobs in here immune to fire, so. Carnage Reaper. The SLA's finished him right off. Do Obscuring Darkness, or Ice Storm, Earthquake. Heal ourselves up. Might as well use a charge of Vile Blasphemy, because we're down a little bit on mana. What other spells do I know other druid casters enjoy, but I don't use a whole lot. Ice Flower is another one. I don't have that yet. That's another spell I just could never really get into, but a lot of druid casters really like that one. I'll try to talk more about that next level when I get it. That's a level 8 spell. They don't want to come down from there? Fine, we'll just throw some AoEs up on them. Spellcasters. He's got Death Wards. We'll give him the Creeping Cold action. Okay, I'm feeling pretty good about the mana situation, so I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate the use of that shrine now, showing you how that you can use it even when you're soloing. Like I said, there's got to be somebody left alive out here. So you don't want to go in there just by your, you know, and not leave anybody out here. You fail, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here. I am going to pull out my Owl Bear. Right, you can use another hireling if you have. Okay. And I'm going to set him on, oops, not intimidate, passive, park him there. And I'm going to keep an eye on his health. So now that he's there, we've got a living mob out here right now. I can safely go into this cave. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to stand right next to the, when I shrine, I'm going to stand right next to this cave entrance. Because if I see his health going down, it's an emergency situation, I need to get back in there quickly, I can just click on the cave right here and I'm instantly back in. As opposed if I'm resting like over here, you know, I have to run over to the cave. This way it's just like one click, bam. I'm going to go ahead and take my time buffing up. Those mobs are not able to hit that owlbear. Keep an eye on his health though, just in case. And oh, I'm going to switch over to fire and then back to water to reapply the mantle. There we go. And now that I'm back out here, I can go ahead and get rid of the owlbear. And that's how you use the shrine when you're soloing this. Finger that champ, take his lost soul. Stygian often has death wards, so I'm just going to give him the old double creeping cold action. Look at all those lost souls. And all these archers torquing us up. champ. SLA of Creeping Cold to apply the debuff to fort saves, and then Finger of Death. Make sure it lands on that champion. I guess we're gonna have to take some of these guys out. Hey, more spellcasters. Champion. I got Gildy Ollie, who needs a bauble, so I'm going to call him in here before we finish. Let them know, give them the 5-minute warning. Okay, now the big mobs start to come out. Pretty much everything from this point on can be kited, though. So I'm just going to keep the Sleet Storm up. An earthquake. Might as well blind them to be sure, right? Didn't even eat my Night Rebels candies. That's okay. And even though they fly, they do fall in earthquakes. There's a lot of mobs that you wouldn't think would fall in an earthquake, like Eladrin, or just like, you know, floating balls of light, but they do fall in an earthquake. Reapers, succubi, all these kinds of things. Famine Reaper, that means put on your spell absorption. SLAs finish them right off. It's just R2, right? Finish off the champ with some SLAs. Throw down another earthquake. Hey, let's do Obscuring Mist. Or Obscuring Darkness. Somebody's getting some hits on me. Go ahead and give that guy the finger. Might as well use a regular heal spell to heal myself instead of scrolls, because, well, it's going to hit bigger. But mana's not a problem in here. And see, I'm at full. Earthquake, Ice Storm. Oh, another Sleet Storm that ran out. Obscuring Darkness. Double shot of Sunburst. Hey, our regular version of Storm of Vengeance is off timer, so we'll throw that too. This Stone Guard's unruly, so we'll give him the finger. And that hero soul wants a creeping cold. Now, just for demonstrative reasons, I will go ahead and show you that, you know, these mobs are normally immune to fire, right? See, watch, I'll put down a firewall. Oh, we gotta get rid of that Plague Reaper. Okay. See, they're all immune. I'm gonna go ahead and switch to Fire Elemental form. With Anger of the Noonday Sun, that's gonna make them vulnerable to fire. So I'm gonna just do something a little bit different here. Just to show you. See, there's my Body of the Sun. The first time they get hit by it, they're immune, but then successive hits, they should be taking full damage. So where are those fire damage numbers at? It still says immune, but it looks like they're taking damage. Okay, now I'm seeing some fire numbers. So you could use fire against these mobs if you wanted to. But I do prefer to use water elemental form. Didn't need to pick that up. I could have also used my Scorched. I could have used, you know, my Flame Strike, Fire Seeds Trap, and Fire Trap if I wanted to. I'm having a pretty good time in my own personal little hurricane here. We got tons of mana, so why not throw the Call Lightning Storm? Hey, I'm gonna go ahead and call my Guildian. Hey buddy, you're on video.
Alright. Hello everybody.
The boss is up now, so come on in and come to the end. You'll get some XP out of it too. So I'm gonna hit my power boost. I should have hit my Night Rebels. You know, clicky. But I was bringing my Guildian, but that thing would give me some extra damage. The Night Ores, but no big deal. Hit him with the Enveloping Swarm, Creeping Doom.
I haven't done these ones for a very long time.
Ice Storm, Storm of Vengeance, Sleet Storm. Make sure we're not overwriting our own Creeping Colds, because then we're overwriting our biggest damage. Remember, that's a backloaded spell, so you want to make sure that you don't overwrite your own Creeping Colds. If you do, you're nerfing your own damage. It's not like Arcane Dots or most other dots in the game where you do want to reapply them before they expire. Creeping Cold and Greater Creeping Cold work differently. There's the Freezing Spray saying like you can't cast it until that runs out. Now it runs out, I'm gonna reapply it. So it gives 30 seconds of cold vulnerability, right? But after that runs out, you can't reapply it for another 30 seconds. And that's what that other like buff was on him. I'm not gonna do anything because I'm gonna hopefully don't kill him. I'm trying to demonstrate something. It should be a second. Thank you. So once that expires, then a buff will go here and that's saying that you can't apply it again until that expires. See, if I try to, it doesn't do anything. Okay, we can go ahead and kill him. Woohoo! Good luck, man.
Thank you.
It's just the center chest that gives the bauble if you're planning on re-rolling.
Okay.
Let's see if he gets it, if he doesn't. If you don't get it on a reroll, I'll reroll.
Nope.
Not today, buddy.
Alright.
Well, thanks for watching. If you have any questions about my build, you can respond to my build post in the Druid forum. If you have any questions about my videos, you can respond on YouTube.